Obilea, structure of Obilea, habitat and habit. Obilea colony, phylum Cylindrata, and classes of Hydra, order Hydridia, genus Obilea genicrata. Obilea is commonly called as a super. It is a good um, example for Hydra. Hydra because it even shows the three important characters. They are a sexual reproduction, and alternation. Uh, Alternately, they occur dimorphism in single animals, conical form. Many species are distributed worldwide. So, Obelia colony, Obelia is branched colony. Obelia has two types branches. One type of Hydrorhiza, Hydrocalus. Hydrocalus. They are horizontal and ventricle. Horizontal branches lie parallel to the substratum of are called hydrorhiza. From the hydrorhiza arises the ventricle branches, stem about 2.5 centimeters along with the known as hydrocalus. The hydrorhiza and hydrocalus are hollow cubes. Hollow cubes. All the individuals in a colony are attached from branches and horizontal hydrorhiza. The branches are called the hydrocalus. So each branch bears three types of zooids: the polyp and medusa and blastocysts, thus making it polymorphic. The poly has a waist-like or bill-like body enclosed in the cup-like hydrotheca. It's the distal and lies the distinct arisal area. The hypostome with an apical mouth surrounded with tentacles. It is the organ of feeding. The medusa are subcursate divide and produced in blaster styles. The blaster styles are gonozoids are club-shaped and or avoid divide of mouth and or tentacles. They are enclosed in gonotheca. Gonads are born home of medusa. Life history shows the alternation of generation and development through the planula. Locomotion. Obillion is the marine called bass-like animal found in the submerged rocks and seaweeds in shallow water of sea coast. It may be regarded as hydra which is undergone the repeated body, but birds have a not separated from the parent. Suppose a body could visualize it to be have acted in regular order, producing the polyp upon a common axis and called the hydrocalus. The entire colony is whitish brown in color. It is posted to the substratum by a root-like base called the hydrorhiza. The polyp hydrated plastic cells. The hydrorhiza continues the feeding device. Each of them resembles hydra in appearance, having about 20 solid tentacles, and hydrants is the encased and protected in transparent mesh-like hydrotheca. It captures minute prey by using its tentacles, which contain the batteries of the pneumatocytes. The coelenterons of the hydron communicate with activity of the hydrocalus and thus the observed effect and distributed to the entire colony. So it is a hydrotheca. So club shaped. So blastocysts are appearing only when colony has reached exercise, each covered the transparent chromatica, thus forming a cylindrical gonazine which has a no mouth and or tentacles. A gonasium occurs in the axillary bed when the hydrophallus and the axis of the hydran. Okay, hydran. On the axis of the blastocysts are formed lateral buds, which ultimately develop into the medusa. The hydrophallus presents in which the hydrotheca, gonotheca. The soft part of the hydrothallus, known as the stenosarc, minute structure of the body wall, conform to the of the hydra and the various cells type of which the later are also present in Obilea in slightly modified form. The medusa are budded off from the axis with the blastocyst. They escaping into the sea through the opening the Gonotheca. A medusa is popularly known as the jellyfish. Each medusa is a minute umbrella-shaped body bearing the numerous tentacles are arranged around its margin or velum with convex surface known as a X umbrella and convex surface as a sub sub umbrella. The enter of the club sub-umbrella and the tip of manubrium is three-quarters of the nose and leads through the gullet into coelenteron of the medusa. Four radial canals radiate from the middle of coelenteron. Two joined a circular ring canal situated around the margin of the umbrella. There are two narrow rings around the velum of the medusa connect with the nerves and network within the body. Gelation mesoserial filled with a space between the ectoderm connecting the outer surface of the endoderm lining the cylinder. Gonad develops sub umbrella when sperms and release into water. Excess the separate and medusa many either produce the sperms or ovum, but both there are four gonads, um, one upon each radial canal. Each radial canal. It is a velum. It is a velum, radial canal. It is a radial canal. So it is a manubrium, gonads, surface, Scadosaur, tentacles, circular canals, base of tentacles, umbrella surface, mouth to subspace. This is a structure of medusa. Structure of medusa. Locomotion, umbrella surface of the organism sends the propel forward with the ex-umbrella surface in front of the float and feeds it when mature and the medusa reproduce the sexual fertilization takes place in water. Fertilizer ovum by the separate cleavage produced hollow blastula and cavity which is became uh, called treated by the migration of cells from the bordering wall to from the solid mass of endoderm. The outer layer of the blastula many um, now be considered as the ectoderm later on a split appearance in the middle of endoderm which represented the coelenterol. Latter became minute, so secreting the hernia cases in hydra. The ectoderm became the ciliated and the planula larva is formed, which freely swimming about in water. Subsequently, the planula settled down the fish and substratum developed the tentacles at the free and end and is thus converted into the polyp. The polyp produce the birds in the regular and orderly manner to the result and mouse-like colony. Obilea bearing two kind of the hydroid was hydrant and blastocyst. The medusa is mean for the disappear more to wood appearance at first sight. The medusa is entirely different from the hydrant, not only from about also minute structure. This idea is ignorance, ignorance in the basic structure of two essential the same of we can easily uh, derive one from the other. The manubrium corresponding of the hydrant and its migration will lightly pull out of the medusa by holding the exambarilla in hand the manubrium and the other medusa is converted into polyp larva. There is a distinct generation of the life history of Obilea. Fixed colony represents up to diploid and asexual generation, reproducing the budding. Medusa derived from the polypar independent units, living part of the feeding themselves. They represent of the haploid or sexual generation, reproducing by the gametes, produce the filtration of the free-swimming planula larva, which the subsequently settle down become the fixed sexual colony. Phenomenon, phenomenon is known as the metagenesis. Metagenesis. So, Obillia colony and medusa polyp structure of a polyp. Polyp are nutrient zooids and Obillia colony. Those are yellowish, cylindrical, and sac-like, resemble of my miniature hydra. My mini nature, miniature hydra. Those are yellowish. These are yellowish. These are called hydrants. Basic, they resemble hydra. The proximal end of the polyp is continuous with the hydrocalus. Continuous, it is a polyp. It is a polyp. So, pre-distal and is a produced in the conical uh, evolution and called the manubrium or hypostome. The the terminal part of the manubrium has a mouth. Just around the manubrium 24, a long tentacles are present. Tentacles are it is a it is a tentacles. It is a tentacles. Polyp tentacles. The polyp has a wide cavity. Polyp wide cavity has a wide cavity inside called gastrovascular cavity. Gastrovascular cavity or coelenteron. One end the cavity open to outside by the mouth and other gets and connected with the um, canal. Sarc canal, Sarc canal. So, polyp body wall, polyp body wall, diploblastic, diploblastic. What is diploblastic? Two layers, two highway two layers. It is a made up to of outer ectoderm and inner endoderm. Outer, it is a ectoderm, inner endoderm. So cylindron one end cavity opens to outside, mouth and other gets connected with the senosarc canals. Polydiploblastic, so inner endoderm. Perisarc surrounding the hydranth. Perisarc surrounding the hydranth. Perisarc surrounding the hydranth. So, um, Perisarc hydranth dilates and from the loose vase shape protects the structure called a hydrotheca. At base of the polyp, hydrotheca produced the ring-like structure like a shellfish. Shell, fish. So, blasto, blastostyles, uh, blastostyle. Blastostyles are reproductive zooids of Obilea colony, hence they are called the gonozooids. They are cylindrical, tubular zooids without any mouth and tentacles. Without mouth and tentacles. They develop from the axillus of the polyp. They are lesser in number. The perisarc form the vase like a structure called gonotheca around the blastocysts. In the fully grown gonozoids, the gonotheca develop the opening called the gonophore at the terminal end. At the terminal end. It is a gonophore, totally gonotheca, medusa birds, medusa birds. So gonophore. Totally Gonotheca. Base of blastocysts. Base of blastocysts. It is produced of largest various produce of blastocysts hydrocalus. Hydrocalus. Blastocysts bilateral asexual budding produce the sexual individuals called the medusa. Asexual medusa. Blastocysts together with the medusa and gonotheca is called the gonaceum. When fully developed, the medusa comes out the gonophore for a free swimming life and sexual reproduction. Histology of colony. The entire colony includes the polyps and blastocysts has the same type of the body wall. Same types of the body wall. Histology of colony. It is a colony. It is a totally Obilea colony. So body will be diploblastic. Diploblastic means to have a two layers. Have a two layers. So it has a two layers, namely outer layer ectoderm, inner layer endoderm. In the between those lies in the non-cellular membrane is called mesosphere. Ectoderm. What is meaning of the ectoderm? It is outer layer ectoderm. It is ectoderm outer layer. So ectoderm outer layer, it is formed the single row cells of those cells are doing different functions and the basis of the function they are classified into the following types. Epithelium muscle cells and gland cells, nerve cells, sensory cells, and intestinal cells and uh, nidoblast cells. Intestinal cells and nidoblast. Epithelial muscle cells. The majority of the cells of ectoderm and epithelial muscle cells, they are they are pillars shaped. Those cells have a outer epithelial part of the inner muscular part. Gland cells. Those cells are secreted mucus. Nerve cells. The nerve cells are located in the inner part of the ectoderm in contact with the mesogyr. All the nerve cells are inner connected with each other to form the net, a nerve net between the mesogyr and the ectoderm. The nutrients are connected to the epithelial muscle cells and sensory cells and respond to the environmental changes and control the body. Sensory cells. Sensory cells. Those are thread-like cells lying between the epithelial muscle cells. Those cells form the neuromotor system. The cells are involved in the direction of the change in surroundings. Intestinal interstitial cells. Interstitial cells between space of spaces between the narrow basalins and epithelial muscular cells are occupied by small rounded cells called the interstitial interstitial cells. These cells can develop into any type of cells, hence they are called the totipotent cells. Totipotent cells. Pneumoblast cells. Those are called the blast or staining cells and pneumoblast are for self-protection, food capturing and to attack other animals. Endoderm. Endoderm has a long epithelial muscular cells. Endoderm cells have a placella and pseudopodia. The placella created a water current inside of the gastrovascular cavity. The pseudopodia captured the food materials are digested inside of the endothelial muscle cells. In the endoderm nerve cells is the gland cells are also present. The gland cells secreted the digestive enzymes into the gastrovascular cavity. The gland cells secreted the digestive enzymes into the gastrovascular cavity, mesothelial. It lies in between the epidermis and endodermis. It has a many elastic branch. Nutrition. The obilea is a carnivorous. It feed on small worms, crustaceans, nematodes, etc. The polyps of a colony are concerned with nutrition. The tentacles capture the prey and is passed into the gastrovascular cavity through the mouth. The gland cells of the ectoderm secreted digestive enzymes into the gastrovascular cavity. Gastro enzymes in gastrovascular cavity. The partly digested food material are made to circulate inside of gastrovascular cavity and the pseudopodia capture and swallow the partly digested food material inside the endothelium muscle cells of the body is completely digested. The digested food is distributed among the other cells of the colony by the diffuser, and undigested food is engaged through the mouth. Because Obilea exhibit extracellular and as well as intracellular digestion. Once again, Obilea colony. It is a perisarc total Obilea colony. It is a polyp. It is a polyp. The polyp have tentacles. How many number of tentacles of polyp? 24 tentacles. It is a mouth. It is a polyp. Sinosarc. It's annulus. Annulus is a polyp movement. The use of annulus polyp movements. So it is a gonophore. So it's totally gonotheca. So gonotheca have gonophore and body developed the medusa. So Obilea colony is a branched colony. Obilea have two types of branches and horizontal and ventricle. Horizontal branches is like parallel substratum are called hydrorhiza. So Hydrotheca hydrocalus. It is like a hydra. What is because reason why because of hydrocalus? Um, Obelia like a hydra. It is a hydrocalus. So stem of hydrorhiza arises ventricle branches of stem about 2.5. Common name of Seaper and assigned to the uh, so, hydrocalysis is hydrolyzer. Hydrolyzer branches contain the numerous individual called the two types of oocytes. Three types: polymorphism, dimorphism, so monomorphism. Single animal. It is called Obilea is a dimorphism animal. So, branch include the Cenosarc. It is so all the individuals Medusa so Obilea colony hydrocalus blastocysts so gonotheca so Medusa birds Medusa hydrotheca so Medusa birds Obilea sedentary and marine conical shape is Obilea geniculata. It is see observe the Obilea geniculata, Obilea Gonazia, so Obilea Seeker, it is Medusa, Obilea Medusa, Obilea polyp, only Obilea polyp and hydra. So Obilea hydrocalus, so many hydrocalus. So Obilea, it is a hydrolyzer, it is a hydrocalus. So Medusa birds, Medusa birds, it is a Gonotheca gonazium. It is a Gonotheca, so gonophore emerging from the gonazium in Medusa. Blastocysts, Gonotheca, Medusa birds. It is a polyp, gonophore. It is a polyp. So hydran. Hydrants have tentacles, polyp. So gastrovascular cavity, Xenosarc to perisarc. So, perisarc annuals. Perisarc annuals movement of the polyp. So, it is a polyp, hydrant. Polyp is a hydrant nucleated towards gonazine blasto style subverting towards medusa is a sexual towards. So, three towards highway Obilea. So it is fact to start with Obilea. Monomorphic from having a polyp and only but later due to the developed blastocysts become the dimorphic colony. Finally, Medusa is over. Blastocysts and mature colony. Blastocyst is a mature colony. It is between the trimorphic colony. It is a trimorphic colony trying to uh, class. Tomorrow discuss. I will discuss Obilea reproduction and radial medusa structure and polymorphism.